Keep firing, assholes!
Joining me tonight, finally, after 2 years of trying to get this person on the podcast, I finally got her. Jennifer Attaway of New Orleans.
No way.
Legendary bass player for Split Lips, The Unnaturals, Cemetary Frost, and who else? Who am I missing?
I'm the front person for Split Lips. I'm not the bass player.
See, I should have known that, but
Yeah.
I haven't seen y'all live. That's terrible on my behalf. I'm a terrible friend.
You're not a terrible friend. We don't play very often anymore.
Okay, so what's been up?
Survived October, which was completely insane.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't really remember November. Just trying to get a few things that were started this year back on track and trying to get stuff out.
Yeah.
Wrapping up the
Yeah, I've been fortunate enough to kind of witness just how busy you and Bill have been over the past year and a half or so, with all the gigs with Unnaturals, Creepy Fest. Like, y'all got all of that going on between y'all two, and it's just like nonstop. And y'all don't sacrifice the quality of a live show, that's for sure. In between all that. So if anyone out there who has not heard of the Unnaturals, they are a long tenured, I guess, surf punk is what y'all would call yourselves. Yeah.
I go with instrumental surf rock.
Surf rock, okay.
I don't know. It's like it's pretty much not what anyone expects.
No, not at all.
Like, even surf, I hesitate to use surf, and we kind of drifted away from that a little bit.
Yeah.
On the new, like, traditional surf. But we've actually drifted really, really far from traditional surf. But yeah, I don't know. I have gone with surf metal.
Mm-hmm.
Usually just
I could dig that. I could dig surf metal.
yeah.
Because it's definitely all in the attitude that y'all bring, and I hate to spoil the live show, but one of the favorite things that the audience gets to see is the Iron Maiden medley at the end of your shows. That, I mean, it's just something to behold. I mean, like, you don't see a whole lot of people by and large in this area cover Iron Maiden, and just to do like not one but multiple Iron Maiden songs in a closer, it's fucking insane.
It's made in New Orleans.
Made in New Orleans, see? Boom. Yes.
I gotta have a pretty big part in naming a lot of the songs, and I'm pretty cheesy.
Yeah.
I'll admit it.
Well, part of what I do is just I like to get everyone's musical journey on this podcast. So we could go as far back as you wanted to. You tell me exactly, where did the musical journey start with you? Where'd you come from? Who's your mom and them? All that good shit.
Jeez, man. Well, you're gonna bear with me because I don't get interviewed very often. I'm usually the one doing the interviewing.
So the tables have turned.
Yeah. So I guess I started when I was 7 with piano lessons, and the reason that I started piano lessons is because I was in Taekwondo and I got beaten sparring for the first time by a new boy,
Uh-huh.
and I was like, well, my parents had done the thing, oh, well, you can choose to continue with karate or you can start taking music lessons when I first asked for piano lessons.
Mm-hmm.
So first time I got the wind knocked out of me, I'm like, screw this, I'm going to take lessons. So that was around 7, and then, did the whole middle school, high school band thing, marching band, concert band. In high school, went into jazz band, picked that piano back up,
Mm-hmm.
Stuff like that. And, so around the same time, I started getting into metal and punk and everything like that. I was just always like a big music fan, always, all my life. Used to dance in the kitchen with my mom when I was a little kid and stuff, all those things. And just always listened to everything, like a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
It's just both of my parents were big time music lovers, so there was always music on.
Yeah. What type of I'm sorry to cut you off. What type of music did your mom and dad tend to influence you? Like, what was going on in the household?
Because there's some stuff that they listened to that was pretty atrocious to my standards, but something that stuck with me, like my mom's love of oldies.
Yeah.
I'm still all about the oldies. We're talking like 50s and doo-wop and stuff like that. The crooners, the Brat Pack.
Yeah.
Stuff like, not the Brat Pack, the Rat Pack. Sorry.
So.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just saying. So you're probably a little older than I am. I mean, getting that you grew up in the 50s and stuff like that. You what, 52, 53?
Are you asking me what? What are you asking?
Your age. I'm just trying to put together like time. I'm fucking with you right now.
I know you are. 45, damn it. I feel like I'm in my 50s today.
No. I'm kidding, folks. I'm only kidding. I know she's my age.
Joke.
It's a running joke. That along with I mean, now I got something new. I didn't know you was in martial arts before it until just now. So like now, I mean,
Taekwondo. Little, and I took Hapkido a few years ago.
Yeah, that's right. I remember seeing the picture of you and Bill in your robes. That's pretty cool.
We were actually trained under Matt Brunson for a minute there. It was only for about like less than 2 years, but I think more than a year.
Matt Brunson of Crowbar, right?
Got in the way. Yeah. He's awesome. He's really fun to work with too. He has a really good way of explaining things and figuring out how to teach different people. Like, this is your learning style.
Yeah.
And cater that. And I think a big part of that comes from they had a very large children's class, youth class.
Right.
But yeah, that was great. I wanted to do that again, but I keep getting hurt. Keep getting broken and broke. So.
How many injuries have you sustained in the past 2 years?
In the last 2 years, I mean, just the knee thing.
Just a knee thing? Okay.
Yeah.
So going back to your musical journey, I got us off track. And we're gonna do a lot of I feel sorry for the audience who pays attention to this podcast for any number of episodes because I'm misdiagnosed ADD big time, and the episode just fucking they go on like a goddamn Tarantino flick, like mixed with a little bit of Michel Gondry antics or some shit. I don't know.
That is you too. So this episode's going to be interesting.
It's going to be very interesting. Very interesting.
Because I'm a person, when I'm telling a story, I'm going to tell you like 3 or 4 side stories and tangents and backstories. And I promise you I'll get back to the main story. So you just got to be, and you got to have a better attention span than I do.
That's right. So people out there, if you got a high IQ, this episode's for you. We're going to test your shit today. Now, you're living with mom, 7 years old, piano lessons. You said kiss my ass to karate or taekwondo, and you went into band, and
Yeah.
so I'm just for the life of me right now, I am just imagining this little Asian girl just
Yeah.
just dancing. Uh-oh.
What was that?
That's our mutual friend Ben giving me a call.
Oh.
Yeah. I tried calling him earlier to let him know that the weather looks like shit where he's going in the next couple of days. But anyway, so yeah. What's that?
Okay, no, go ahead. We're dancing.
You're dancing to 50s music, to doo-wop stuff. And then so sometime after that, you turn, you early preteens and whatnot. When did like heavy rock and metal like enter the equation?
Okay, that's a funny story too, because my older brothers would so when I was really little, they when they both still lived at home, they were way into like Van Halen and Ozzy and Judas Priest and stuff like that, maybe Maiden. I'm trying to remember like the posters on the walls. Another one of them was way into Van Halen. So the thing was, I became kind of like the like cute little sister tool to attract women. Like they said, like introduced me to the potential girlfriends, and then try to impress them by how cool I was. Like, hey Jen, who's your favorite singer? And I get on the phone and be like, Ozzy Osbourne. And so that, oh, she's so cute. I can't wait to meet her.
Yeah.
So they had me listening to that for a while, but then I guess when I got to elementary school or something, and then you get around kids and you start listening to what's popular. I wasn't a cool kid. I was a nerd from like birth. So it didn't take long for me to fall into like, Tiffany and Michael Jackson and New Kids on the Block and stuff like that. But
Those are dark times, so Harry.
Yeah. And then so I guess I'm trying to think of like when I got myself back into metal and hard rock and stuff. Say probably, I don't know, probably when the hormones took hold. I don't know.
That makes sense.
At around like 11 or 12 or something, I guess. And then so yeah, met like around middle school time. Around the same time that I started getting really ugly and like, zits and braces and glasses and bad hair. And then so the hair kept getting bigger and bigger, and then it got putting bandanas and headbands and whatnot. Started wearing the black
did you ever like do the whole like 90s glam rock thing with the hair, like big hairspray and all that good stuff?
Yeah. Yeah. the tall cascade bangs,
Awesome.
Yeah. But then I started putting my hair in little teeny tiny braids on the top because I went to Catholic schools and private schools.
Okay.
So I didn't, I kind of.
You had to tame it down a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like there wasn't a whole lot I could do, and then look cool on the weekends. There had to be some kind of compromise, so I could hide tiny little braids in my hair. Had a bad perm for a really long time too.
Oh wow! Is there photograph evidence of this perm?
Sadly, yes. Lots actually. If you ever went to my mom's house, there's lots. But
yeah.
Every now and then, too, somebody from high schools like finds some cute pictures and they post them, and it's like, God damn it! I play music now. I have a reputation. Stop that. Just kidding. But yeah, no, every now and then stuff surfaces, but I haven't seen too much of the really bad ones online. I got a best friend, one of my best friends from school. She's like pretty shameless with posting old pictures.
I want to ask you that.
So,
Like, was there any like close friends growing up that like shared your affinity for like heavy rock and metal music?
oh yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, like I said, well, first of all, I moved a few times,
Hmm.
and I didn't really carry on my friends from one stage of my life. From like the elementary school age, kind of lost touch with them pretty quickly. Reconnected with one or two of them in adult life, but not like didn't become good friends again or anything.
Hmm.
Middle school and high school, yeah, I still talk to some of those people, or at least reconnected, if not still, if
Yeah.
that made any sense. Sorry, I'm a little moving around a little bit here. Hang on. But yeah, yeah, there's a few. There's a few. Uh, you know, a lot of people go in a lot of different ways, especially after Katrina.
Yeah.
But there are a few that are still in my life, or that we found each other again online or something like that.
Right on. Now, as were you in at that point in Katrina? Were you in the city at that time, or you were like somewhere in the outskirts of New Orleans?
Yeah, I was in Lakeview.
Okay. Wow.
um, yeah, I mean, so I guess I'm just gonna go with this. Yeah, sure. All right. So I was living with a guy, and I was kind of already sneaking my stuff out of his house. So I actually didn't lose that much.
Uh-huh.
But I went and we even evacuated separately,
Yeah.
and I went and stayed at my parents' in Slidell, but north of the interstate in Slidell.
Hmm.
And so I had just gotten a new car, and because I went over there, it didn't even get water in it. Like everything, I lost some clothes, I lost some stuff, but like, I didn't lose like a lifetime of belongings or memories or anything like. Well, I mean, everybody lost uh stuff that was tied to memories as far as like places and people and
Yeah.
everything. But I didn't. It's not like I lost my home or anything like that. Like I was already
Yeah.
on the way out. And I don't know. I hope I don't know. I guess I don't care what it sounds like, but because that's just what the story is. But
Yeah. Don't
you
you
know,
shouldn't care what it sounds like. I mean, this. Yeah. This is your story. This is
yeah,
your
because I'm
experiences.
a dirt bag. But you know what? I mean, everybody has their thing. Like everybody's got some failed relationships, and mine just happened to be going really south. And wow, what a way to get out of a relationship. So. And then he popped back up too. He found my parents' house and he just
Whoa.
showed up. I know, like, then we had him for a while, and I was like, "You've got to go. I know you've got other."
You've got to go.
Yeah. So yeah, that was wild. That was really weird.
So So
Yeah.
backtrack a little bit before the relationship. I'm still trying to key in on a few things here, like as far as like music's concerned. Were there any like attempts at like forming a band outside of school whenever you were like a teenager?
No, I used to go watch bands play. I had friends that were in band, but one of the things we used to go to the Araby sheds and go watch bands practice. Um, my friend that I mentioned earlier, Star, her was it her mom's house or her grandma's house was down the street from Donovan Punch's place where they used to practice. We walked down there a few times and watched I guess it was Soylent Green at the time practice.
That's
Um, and stuff like that. But as far as actually starting a band or playing a band, I just knew how to sing, but I couldn't sing like metal style, and I didn't think that I would be a good punk singer at the time.
mhm.
um and I mean, it didn't seem like anything the keys would be good for, anything that I would want to do. So it just was like fan.
Yeah. You mentioned Donovan Punch, who I recently got to meet at a goat horse show in North Carolina, in Asheville of all places, and we were talking via social media, and you were like, "Hey, tell Donovan I said hello," and I was like, "Donovan, Jennifer Attaway says hello." He was like, "Oh, cool, man. She still got that punk band going on." I was like, "Yeah, she does."
Yeah, he's cool.
Now, for those that don't know, Donovan Punch is one of the best guitar players that's ever come out of New Orleans, is my opinion, and of fucking Solid Green. I mean, come on.
Very, very, Jesus, prolific.
Very prolific. Very prolific. Yeah, I think he has his own little YouTube channel that you could like Google search, do Donovan Punch, and it's spelled just like a punch. And he plays acoustic guitar. He plays like these it's a string instrument. It's not a guitar, but it's what they call that. Not a banjo. It's like East Indian type of sitar.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, it's fucking unreal.
And I never think to tube for stuff like that. It's like usually I just click on a link that somebody else shares. But yeah, I never go think to search YouTube channels.
Yeah, I wouldn't know it until he told me. He was like, "Yeah, man." He's like, "I got some YouTube videos, and you can check it out." And I was like, "Dude, hell yeah!" So, he's very. I mean, he never. If anything, he's only gotten better. That's for sure.
Yeah,
but anyway,
it's just hard to believe. How do you get any better?
I know, and it's just he is just honed in on his craft. That's for sure. He's just a goddamn genius, a savant. Even, that's what Ben says. Even so, but anyway, you coming out of Hurricane Katrina. So did you move back in with your folks in Slidell? Did I hear that right, or are you just relocated somewhere in the city?
I was back there in Slidell. We didn't. Not to say back there in Slidell, back with my parents who were living in Slidell at the time.
Uh-huh.
And I was there for a while. I'm trying to remember how long, but so obviously nobody had a choice for a while there.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't even letting us back into the city for a few months or something. I think it's kind of getting foggy now, but and especially being in Lakeview, but there was like really nothing to go back for if you lived in certain areas. Lakeview was definitely one of them. But I'm trying to think, like, I guess, because now we're getting closer to where my musical journey actually kicks off as far as playing.
Yeah.
Because then it's going to the city. This is when I got my first cell phone because my dad was giving me his old StarTAC, like the first flip phones they ever made, to go to, so when I would go to the city, if there was an emergency or, or something happened with the car, because every now and then an area that was supposed to be cleared off would still be like full of debris and crap. And so I'm like going back and forth to the city with this ancient StarTAC phone, and I started finding people from kind of like from like the point in time, I guess high school, when it was like I knew people that played music. And so I started, somehow that's how I met Kevin Bowles, was through his friend Joe.
Okay.
And they had a band called Rolina for the Honey. So the way it started was I actually started helping book shows for them. Because I remembered growing up how much, how much I owed to the people that book shows, especially all ages shows, which I never was really able to get anything all ages going. But I started booking shows after Katrina when bars started to open again, because I was like, okay, people are hanging around and there's not any live music yet. And it was getting going slowly but surely. But I just like I just wanted to help some bands find venues and stuff. And so I was Asia 999 Promotions, which now you really only see that on Creepy Fest flyers because I don't really do anything with it anymore unless one of my bands can play. um, but so I started booking World Leader for the Honey, and I started seeing Kevin. And then Kevin was going to teach me how to play guitar, but I said, you know what? If you want to teach me how to play something, I have always wanted to play bass since I was like 12, 13 years old.
That's wild.
So he got first bass. And it was like one of those, kits that you see advertised around Christmas where it comes with a practice amp and like a cord and a strap and everything like that. And it's a Drive Wildfire X2 or X3 or something like that. Like nobody's ever even heard of this bass.
I haven't.
But, huh?
I said I haven't for sure.
Right. And so like it's you can tell how strong a pickup's going to be by the size of the magnets in it.
Yeah.
And this thing had like teeny tiny magnets. Like I'm trying to think of like well, I can't think of something to compare it to. Like but they're so small. And I couldn't understand for the life of me why I couldn't get loud enough. I go out and get a bigger combo amp, and I'm like, still can't hear it when I play with anybody. And that I discovered that, and that's really about the extent of my gear knowledge that I ever got was how like the thing about the pickups. I'm just not a gearhead at all.
How many bass? I mean, I know I've seen you play 2 live before, and there maybe like 1 at the house. How many do you have total?
The one at the house is actually Bill's, and I I stole his acoustic bass. Because I mean, it's right here. He can get it if he wants it. It just it lives by my desk. Does pick it up and do exercises and stuff, or when I realize I haven't been practicing enough and I really don't feel like working, I'll just grab it. But so there's that. So I'm gonna call it mine, but it's really shared, but it's really his.
Yeah.
I have the Epiphone Blackbird, which is the main one that I use. I have 2 Schecter stilettos. I only have 4 strings. I don't have any 5-string basses.
Is that you prefer just amount of strings is 4? You ever like tried anything more than 5 or something like that?
No, never tried. Never tried a fretless either. Yeah. That I'm interested in. I just haven't gotten around to it.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm like, I have small hands here, but I have long fingers. But I still prefer a neck that's like a smaller width. So that's I guess I wound up with the Schecters and the Blackbird. I just like I think Ibanez Sound Gear makes some that are like good narrow necks like that, but I like these better. I have a Univox High Flyer that somebody gave me. It's a short scale, so again, I don't really use that. So what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What do we got? 6?
Sounds like 6. Yeah. So what about the bass that just made you like gravitate towards that instrument? Because I mean, I know of a lot of guitarists that they're if they play bass, they're guitarists first, and the bass isn't their primary instrument. But with you were like, I want to play the bass. Was it a certain look of a certain or certain like is it the sound that it makes or like
the sound for sure, but also just I like the idea of having to play leads. So and just like strumming chords also seem boring.
Yeah.
This would be something that I could actually still play and like I don't know, like move around more on the neck, if that makes any sense, and like actually
you definitely don't seem bored up there, that's for sure.
I'm not. Definitely not. I like was deeply inspired by the first time hearing Anesthesia Pulling Teeth, of course. And then just also, like I said, I started wanting to play around like 12 or 13, and that's around the time that a lot of female bass players started to make their presence very well known, around MTV and radio and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I did have the opportunity to tell Shauna that she was one of my influences. Talking about Sean from White Zombie, because she lives here now. For those of you who don't know,
Yep.
I don't know who doesn't know that she lives in New Orleans, but
I've always known she lived out there, but I've never seen her out.
She doesn't really go out as much.
Yeah, that's what I hear.
She's married to a friend in the scene, but I saw her one night we've talked several times, hung out a few times. I use the term hung out very loosely. Chatted upon encountering each other, I guess you'd say.
Mm-hmm.
But so one night, I finally just said, "Okay, I haven't done this yet, but I just need a moment. I'm finally gonna fangirl out on you. I want you to know that you were one of my influences to pick up that bass." And she turned to me and said, like, the most amazing thing that you could expect her to say. That she was surprised to hear that because she's seen me play and she's blown away by my playing.
Wow.
Like, oh my God. But, just, it was like a time for like, it was, more and more women in punk, women in alt rock, women in, like just across the board coming up. And I don't know why the bass was like the one that spoke to me as this is the instrument you should play.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously I'm very glad I did. I really do enjoy playing bass more than anything, even piano. I mean, although sometimes I have a moment where I just gotta go sit by the keyboard and play for a little while. Mm-hmm. But it's like I feel like it's a part of me. I feel like it's I don't know. It just feels natural.
Yeah, I was what to say. You took the word right out of my mouth. I mean, you look like you're a goddamn natural at it. I mean, for those who have not seen Jenn play live, there's no pick involved. It's just, I mean, you're strumming with your hands and fingers. Just, I mean, it's just fucking, I know I can't do it like that.
Yeah. For the record, that's what he said, but also moving on.
I left too big of a pause there. I knew it.
It was killing me.
I know. Anyway. I set her up one more time. I mean.
Oh man. Yeah, I mean, it's just when I still get nervous before I play most shows.
Do you really?
But so much worse when I'm fronting a band. It's like because I feel more exposed.
I can feel it down in my plums.
It's just like, huh?
Oh, nothing. I just did a little sound clip for you.
What was it?
Oh, you couldn't hear it?
No.
Oh, you just got to tune in.
Oh no. Yeah, I just anyway. Completely derailed now.
Yep.
All right.
Here we go. Back on track. So yeah, you.
All right. So
tiny hands, big fingers.
Anyway.
Playing the bass.
I really, I don't know. It's still, I can't imagine not playing bass. And when I front a band, I feel like,
Just... So you front the split lips and you're not playing bass. You're not on bass duty. So do you feel like something's missing the entire time that you're playing live?
Sometimes it's like it's hard to say because it takes me, it can take a minute for like the jitters and nerves to wear off. And then once I get into it and connect with the crowd, or at least just get like, just let the music take over, then
Yeah.
it's all good. It's weird. Like, I mean, it's almost like it was almost better doing the Alice Cooper thing with makeup and a costume, and then that feels more like shoot, am I gonna have to stop and keep explaining? Yeah, I guess so.
You don't. I mean, you
So
don't have to stop and you don't have to explain. I mean, you just
it's like because I was about to start talking about the glam rock super fox thing, but we haven't even mentioned that yet.
Well, we can get there yet. We'll get there.
Okay. So just to preface, whenever we get to that, it just kind of it's like easier to lose yourself in something when you're being somebody else. So when you're acting or when you're putting on a performance as a character. So like, for example, when we do the Alice Cooper cover show, or when I do the glam rock super fox performances.
Now, for those who don't know, you want to explain to them what the glam rock super fox show is?
Okay. It started off by Cassie Smith, who goes by Jessie Tripp. She had a band called Jessie Tripp and the Nightbreed, but she started putting together musicals and like more elaborate stage shows where there would be a theme, and she would have some of her friends dancing in costumes to the theme and stuff, and it evolved into like musicals. And I could be a little bit off on the history of this, but if you check it out, they used to do the Lost Boys and did it into a rock opera thing, a performance, and so it's like musical theater basically.
Right. And I mean, one that y'all keep y'all putting on is Days of Confused, right?
Right. So they did Lost Boys a few times, and then I came in for the last time they did it as Marco, which was Alex Winter's character in the movie, as the little blonde vampire.
Little blonde vampire with little curly hair.
Yeah. Oh, it's a super mullet.
Super mullet. Yeah. Oh God. Yes. I think it's a thing to behold.
It's amazing.
Yes.
It's like its own character. But so I did that, and then the next one we did, I think, was Dazed and Confused, and we've done that one twice. And I played Mitch both times. And then we did The Crow. And the first year that they did it, I was just an assassin because I knew I was going to have to miss a night. So I didn't want to have a bigger role. Plus, I'm always really busy in October for many reasons.
Yeah.
But I just took on an extra role so I could sing a few songs. And I had to leave for one night to fly to San Antonio to pop in and do one split lip show and then come right back and finish out the run of The Crow. But this year I kept that role, and I also played T-Bird, which was like kind of the leader of the street gang.
Yeah.
And I still sang the songs, and I still played the assassin. And so anyway, so basically, like I said, rock opera, musical theater, and it's actually a really, really good production. Always good scripts, excellent musicians in the live band backing it up. I can't say enough good things about it. And it was like, could not pass it up. I can't ever say no matter how busy I am when these shows pop up, because it's just so much fun. Yeah,
every time I was able to see a clip of somebody posting it, either on Jesse's Instagram or something, or someone tags you, whatever. I mean, it just looks like the whole cast of characters is having a blast, like nonstop. From rehearsals to the show, it just looks like a fucking good time all the time.
Yeah, and it's like, it was an opportunity to meet people that I probably never would have had an opportunity to work with otherwise, because you got people coming from different genres of music, different types of performance art. We've got burlesque girls, we've got sideshow performers, we've got musicians, we've got people that don't do any of those things, and they just come out and do these shows. It's it's just always a blast, and everybody's so talented and so good at everything they do, and it's like a little family.
Yeah.
It's like a little family.
It
And
it
even when
it,
people,
every time I see y'all perform, it's like like the best drama class, the coolest drama class that's ever existed.
right, exactly.
Fucking
And that's another thing I did back in high school too. I was in drama club and production staff and
Not
stuff
you.
like that. You've got to understand, I was always an overachiever. This is not new. I think I did a post. I was in 6 different projects in October,
Uh-huh.
and I listed, I think it was like 13 different shows. That's just, I've always been like that. If I don't have a bunch of stuff going on, I don't know what to do.
You want to know how I know you're Asian?
Because of that.
Because you're overachiever.
Always.
Hey, nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with being Asian either, damn it. I'll just put it out there.
I was less lazy when I was in high school, probably. I think that's also part of it. It's because it is like it keeps me moving.
Mhm.
Like I'm the kind of person that I get so much on my plate that when I finally have downtime, I'm just like totally downtime. Like I'm
Yeah.
not moving off.
Mhm.
And so that's kind of like unacceptable.
So
Unacceptable.
aside from the acting you're doing locally, but going back, who aside from Sean from White Zombie, who else was a big bass influences?
I mean Cliff Burton.
Mhm. Yeah.
I mean, are we talking specifically females or bass in general?
Oh, just bass in general. I mean, who like some of the bass players that you said, you know what, I like to model my game after theirs, like to learn, some of their music, and and just kind of put it on my own twist on it.
Right. Cliff and Geezer are huge for me. Because like Geezer Butler, because their style is like kind of like what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So it's kind of easy when I want to try to call something to mind to like get some kind of influence. Like, well, shit, what would Cliff do?
Mm-hmm.
What would Geezer do right here?
Mm-hmm.
Because like that whole not sitting in the pocket, not like writing a note, not just doing marrying the rhythm, just actually kind of like combining some melody in there and sometimes even taking over and taking over harmony, taking over the melody and just kind of like a little bit of everything.
Yeah, I mean,
that's more
and
style, and that's very much what they always did,
those two, in my opinion, and they are just fucking masters at the game. I mean, Cliff and Geezer both. I mean, it's common knowledge. I mean, they wrote their band's music. I mean, Geezer, by and large, wrote the majority of Black Sabbath's catalog, and the shit that
he was still taking lessons himself right up until that fatal tour.
Yeah, that's wild.
Always have something to learn.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Yep.
But yeah. Yeah, and then Steve Harris is like one that I look at later on for trying to pick up a little bit more styles and challenges and things. Cause that dude, I'm not even playing his hardest bass lines. That stuff is insane.
Yeah.
He was like, I started to say it, but yeah, I never really liked Iron Maiden growing up because I didn't like Bruce Dickinson's vocals. They've grown on me.
Mm-hmm.
But then somebody introduced me to Paul Di'Anno, and I was like, okay, I like Iron Maiden. Here we go. I got it.
Yeah.
So then I could appreciate everything else that was going on a little better. So I got back, okay, I can listen to Steve Harris's bass lines now without wanting to be like, stop! To Bruce,
Right.
Dude, the fuck fence somebody. Just, I think that, like, I'm trying to think of women that are in that category, and I feel wretched for not being able to call one to mind immediately, but just I gotta say, like, pretty much everything L7 was an influence, you know, because they came out during the Riot Girl era, but weren't like, you know, I am defined by the fact that I was born with a vagina. They weren't like that. They weren't just like total feminazis. They weren't like everything revolves around me being a woman, and that really spoke to me as a potential musician or sort of musician, or you know, non-practicing. No, just wasn't in a band yet, but I was like, yeah, that's the stuff right there.
Yeah.
Um,
I could definitely see how that, you know, that would impact, you know, a young female artist like yourself. I mean, you know, I was, you know, growing up through that with you, you know, I mean, not physically with you, in Slidell, but, you know, I was around that, you know, watching it on MTV and on the radio, listening to L7 and whatnot. And I was like, man, you know what? They got some substance to their music, and there was just no denying it.
Slidell, we moved there later. Like I said, I moved around a few times. I actually grew up in Belchase on the West Bank.
What? I was stationed there.
The blue. Wait, what was it?
The naval base.
The place where they did the air show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, I lived further than that. It's Jesuit Bend.
Cool. Wow, that's way out there.
Yeah. Yeah, my dad worked for a natural gas plant.
That makes sense.
And so the places were pretty rural and remote. When I say that we lived in Chalmette, no, we actually lived in a place called Toka that's not even on the map.
Damn.
It's when people say down a road, that would be down a road.
Oh.
And then we lived in Chalmette for a little while. Then we lived in Slidell. Then I went and dropped out of college in Baton Rouge, so I was there for about a year, a little less than a year. I've moved around. Then back to New Orleans, back to Slidell. Back to New Orleans. Picayune for a while. Anyway, but yeah. Yeah, I don't know, but getting back to L7, it's just, or like any of the, like Babes in Toyland was another one, Lunatics, like bands in that era that weren't being preachy, I was down with that.
Yeah.
Like, I can only take so much of anybody telling me how to think about anything. Yeah. I don't care what it is. Even if you think it's feminism, I actually wrote a song about that. There's a wrong way to do the right thing.
I was listening to that earlier, actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to talk, you know, whenever you're done with this spot in your story, we need to talk about Slut Lips, definitely.
Yeah. I mean, you know, you can take over if you want.
Well, okay. Well, I was just you know, I was going through the catalogs of your bands that you sent over to me, and you know, just, you know, I've seen Unnaturals. I've seen y'all, I don't know how many times so far now, and you know, that is, I guess, it's one brand of yours, you know, and it's fun, but then going in blind, not knowing what to expect. I mean, just on, you know, the name of the band alone, you know, I was like, okay, this is going to be different. And, you know, and I was going through the song titles, and it's just so much vagina obsessed. I don't know what
That's
this.
Probably Leslie Stacy's songs.
Okay. Okay. All right.
A little bit of everything. I don't know, like, because that's one band that everybody contributes.
Okay.
So, see, Colangelo, she's the bass player. She goes by Eve We all have stage names. She's Eve Summers.
Okay. Oh.
Yes. And so she probably wrote about half of the original stuff, honestly.
Uh-huh.
And so I'm Sharon Taint, and I'm the front person.
Oh, good name.
And Pam Smith. Now she's Pam Smith Harris. She was Panty Mayonnaise, and our first drummer was Sunshine Laborde, and I cannot remember what her stage name was. But then Bill took over on drums, and he's Tori Anus. And he usually wears some kind of a costume or at least a wig. At one point, he had fake boobs he would strap on and play drums. But not lately, he's been dressing as a granny. And right now, Pam's moved away, so we got Severin Lagarde on guitar, and I'm trying to think of what his stage name was. It was something Betty Diddler or something like that.
Oh.
And so so now he has to wear a wig and a skirt.
Now,
It's pretty awesome. He's only done one show with us so far, but so he's the only one that hasn't contributed anything because like he's seriously just done one show and he's going to be joining us for the show this Sunday with DRI.
and that's going to be in Baton Rouge, right?
Yes. I don't know if you're going to have this out before then, but
I'm gonna try to have it out tonight. Actually, I'm gonna try.
So yeah. Well, you're gonna have to do some editing because we're already almost at an hour. But this
I don't edit shit.
I wrote like one or two songs.
Which song did you get?
Full song.
What song titles have you contributed to?
And that's Jesus, I wish I had the list in front of me. Wait, maybe I do. I wrote complete like words and music for Write a Letter to Your Local Representative, There's a Wrong Way to Do the Right Thing,
Okay.
and Whore.
Yeah, short and sweet.
Yes. I'm looking for the damn list that I sent you.
I got Bleeding from Both Ends.
Casey, Come Dumpster. I wrote the lyrics in the title, and Pam wrote the music. Stacy wrote Bleeding from Both Ends, Cat Caller, Eat and Get Out. Get Your Rosaries Off My Ovaries. Vagina Dentata, which is kind of based on that movie Teeth.
Oh, yeah.
And so then Bill wrote What You Get, and the 2-pack, which is Yakuza Slut and Me So Violent. And Holiest of Holies. And then Pam wrote the music, and I wrote the lyrics to Come Dumpster, Public Domain. And that's it. And then Stacy wrote the music to Stick My Dick in the USA, and she wrote the part that says so much pussy at the mall, and I wrote the rest of and I wrote the third verse to Eat and Get Out. The one about brownie for dessert. I wrote that part. That's fun. We have fun.
Oh yeah, like I said, it's a whole nother level of fun. Oh man,
I had a vision, and it was like I was kind of hoping to get together a band that would be just crude and offensive. And
yeah.
We accomplished that.
My hat is off to you.
do a Gigi Allen cover.
Oh, yeah,
in the City.
Okay.
Yeah, we used to do a Child Molesters cover, but we haven't been. I don't know if that's going to be done by this weekend. Punch You in the Face.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got jokes.
I mean, for the audience members who keep up with my podcast, I mean, yeah, everything is pretty much centered around metal, and it just so happens that Miss Jenn Attaway actually plays bass for up and coming New Orleans band called Cemetary Frost, and y'all are like kind of in the vein of like, death, doom, sludge. I'm not sure, but it's y'all have an all-star cast of New Orleans players, including yourself, in that band. You got Sam White, Trey Birch, Mike Nick, and why I'm drawing a blank right now. Rob on vocals. And would you say that y'all pick from just about every subgenre of metal in Cemetary Frost?
I mean, maybe. There's a lot of. I don't know.
Because I know what you know.
Mean, it'd probably be faster to rule some out.
Yeah, I'd say like definitely. Watching y'all live, there's that doom. There's some doom parts. Definitely, when you got Sam White involved in a band, you can't help but like hear some tremolo picking. So I mean, that's black metal all day long with Sam.
Yeah,
and
he's so good.
He is so good. He's
He like really have a great songwriting chemistry, and like if you follow the progression, you can tell where he came in.
Yeah,
it just I can anyway. I see where it branches off easily, or hear it rather.
Yeah. What's next for Cemetary Frost? Y'all, are you gonna go in the studio anytime soon?
Well, we have a demo, a pretty raw demo that we're trying to get mixed and get that out. But yeah, obviously the goal is to get in the studio because we have more songs already since the demo.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure that's the goal for the beginning of next year. Get that going early. I know we got a gig this month. We're playing with Hell Fury at Siberia on the 16th.
That's gonna be fun.
Which is members of Hanging and Shitload and Spickle, and DJ. I'm assuming it's pronounced Penetrol. Our friend Andy from Dirots, he's going to be DJing. So that's in the immediate future, and just keep writing. I don't think we could stop Trey and Sam from writing if we wanted to. So just keep it going until we can get into the studio. But yeah, I'm just like really enjoying playing in that band too, because I've been wanting to play metal for a long time.
Yeah.
And like I wouldn't have thought to put this group together myself, but since I was asked to join it, like the first couple of songs I heard that they had when I got in there, I was like, yes, I'm doing this. Mm-hmm. Definitely doing this, and I love those guys.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I've, since starting the podcast, getting to know a lot of the players in the New Orleans scene, including yourself, it's
I gotta thank Todzilla for putting us together.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, Todd was, he reached out and said, "Dude, I'm starting a band," and he for reasons that I'm not aware of, he made his exit and gave y'all the blessing to keep going, and dude, that's really awesome of him, and I'm just glad y'all kept it going because, from I was able to watch y'all practice, before y'all had your first gig, and it was great. It was just great chemistry.
Yeah. Yeah, the chemistry is great. And it's like it seems like even like Mike on drums and Rob on vocals have even come like a long way further since we've gotten together in this style. Mm-hmm. And I mean, everybody's just impressive to me, if I do say so myself. I may be biased, but I'm just like really loving it, and I can't wait for more people to hear what we're doing.
If there's one thing that we do like very well on this podcast, it's bias. We are biased as fuck.
Yeah, I got some bias.
Oh, clearly. Very
biased on the band. Yeah.
So being in multiple bands, I mean, how and plus you work at you got your day job. How do you manage all the practicing and and devote songwriting and for each band? Like, are you just like what kind of self-discipline do you have for yourself on that end?
It varies. Because I have like I have the full-time job, and I do the accounting for Midnight Prints, screen printing. I got the 3 bands. The Glam Rock Super Fox is only a few months out of the year, twice a year. I feel like there's other things that I'm doing that I'm not talking about here, but it's all right. And then just like other special projects that pop up throughout the year.
Mm-hmm.
It is really hard to manage, and I think that I vent to some of my good friends, probably probably a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I meditate a lot, but as far as actually like keeping things on track, I don't know, man. I'm just throwing noodles at the wall to see if they stick.
Oh yeah.
Like it's I almost can never have just like, I'm always tempted to say, I am going to micromanage my own schedule, and I am going to start scheduling every aspect of my life. I'm going to carve out this time for writing, and this time for booking and promo, and this time for this, and this. I can't even keep a regular practice schedule because there are so many moving parts. And we're talking about New Orleans area musicians. I mean, and the nature of some of the guys' work, some of the people are in like production type stuff, things that don't have service industry, and they don't have like the same set schedule every week like I do.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So it's really hard to say this band practices at 6 o'clock on Wednesday every week.
It's just basically when everyone can do it, everyone's on the same page. All right, hey, let's go. I'm off, you're off, let's go.
So then if band A finally gets gets 3 members to agree on a time, and then band B says, well, shit, we can't do our normal time. One person really needs that time. And then I just shuffle, and everything gets practiced every week. And I mean, did I answer the question? I feel like I've probably got 5 like unfinished stories in this podcast.
You probably do, but the thing is that I think we made the point. I think we got you here. Fairly on time, which is great.
Yeah, it was on time for me by Jen's standard. Like less than 15 minutes for me is like, whoa, I did it.
Yeah, you did it. You did it. Absolutely. No, but I can't let you get out of here without knowing 6 albums. I hope you did your homework. Like, what is six albums that you just cannot live without? And it could be metal, it could be any genre, whatever you hold near and dear to your heart.
Oh no!
Oh
this is so hard.
I know.
I wasn't prepared. I should have been, but I wasn't prepared. I did my homework. I mean, fuck. In no particular order, I guess.
Yeah, no particular order, just as they come to you.
I mean, just to listen to, or like, does it have to have some I don't know.
Whatever you look like. 6 albums that you're gonna like. If think of it as you're taking those 6 albums to the grave with you.
Damn, man. Just 6. Jesus. So I can't. Jesus, this is tough. Kill 'em all.
That's one.
So like, what happens if I don't pick it? Like, it's 6 albums.
Well, if you don't pick 6 albums, I mean, you can never come on the show again, ever. That's the deal. So, I'm kidding.
Gotta pick like something that Mike Patton's in, and I can't narrow it down to just one.
That's right. You are a huge fan of Mike Patton. That's right.
Oh, it's so huge.
All the Bungles. I'm
gonna go Phantom Monster. No, I don't want to go that because that's a cover album. Oh wait, I have 6.
You got
All
6.
Right, so
you got 6. Well, you got 5 left. You got 5. You kill them all.
I had a plan, but then that's kind of like, I'm gonna go with. Damn, man. I gotta go with The Real Thing. I don't know.
Real
that's even my
That's 2.
favorite Faith No More album, but I gotta go with that one because it was like the thing that kicked off the patent obsession. And let's see. Okay. I don't know if I can live without the newest Mr. Bungle, Raging Wrath of the Easter Bunny.
That is such a great album. That is such a great.
Yeah.
I mean,
Love it.
The fact that they wrote that album when they were in high school and held on to that demo for this fucking long, and then go in the studio with fucking Dave Lombardo, Scott Ian. It's incredible.
Yeah. And I mean, the thing is, though, you got to understand what incredible freaking musicians Trace Bronson and Trevor Dunn are.
Oh, I know. I know. They
so good. I mean, and I don't know, like, if you go down a rabbit hole, if you want just something different and you haven't listened to them yet, pretty much just like randomly pick anything by Secret Chiefs 3. That's Trey's other band.
Mm-hmm.
And oh my God, everything. It's just everything is like, like the kids say, it's a vibe.
It's a vibe.
Yeah,
it's a vibe. Yeah.
All right, so so I picked 3.
That's
right?
3. You got 3 more. This is progress. I feel it. I feel like you could do this.
I'm glad you have such faith. Let's see.
You have no idea how much faith I have.
I have to go with the Motley Crue album. I don't know.
Motley
I don't know
Crue?
if you know hair rock person I am. Wait, no, I gotta pick Skid Row.
Skid Row.
Ooh, that's. I don't know, man. Shit. And then it's like, because bands keep popping up into my head, and then I'm like, but wait, do you pick Skid Row or do you go with Slave to the Grind? Because that shit was fucking killer. And then I'm like, I haven't picked a punk album yet.
Uh-oh.
I haven't picked an L7 album yet.
Uh-oh.
I haven't picked anything classical.
Uh-oh.
I don't know what I'm doing.
You don't know what you're doing.
I can't handle it. Jesus, like pick any damn man, this is so hard.
No, it's not. It's not hard.
All right.
Just go with your feelings. Just go with it.
Can't. My all right, so I said Metallica, Faith No More, Mr. Bungle. Man.
I know one thing that I'm probably never gonna do is put you in like in a McDonald's drive-through line because the amount of choices.
Yeah,
it wouldn't exactly be fast food.
I only eat the chicken McNuggets, and I try not to eat fast food
Yeah, I
much
know.
anymore.
Yeah, it's terrible for you.
Yeah. But man, when those fries are fresh, like really hard. All right.
3 more.
I go with
3 more. You got this.
2 fast. We got that. I can't do this. This is so hard. All right.
Okay.
Take this seriously.
Take this serious.
I could just say pick any Skid Row album, pick any Slayer album, pick any Motley Crue album.
There you go. That's where we're going.
I still didn't pick a punk album. That's insane. I can't.
Okay, look, I'll give you. Since you pulled double duty, I don't know why that was funny, but it just was. Since you're a vocalist and you're a bassist, I'll give you one more. You have your punk album. No, you can't pick a punk album.
No, because that's like, I mean, I can't say Dead Kennedys and not Black Flag, and then I can't say this, and just I didn't even pick any chicks, any females. But if I gotta go with a punk, I'm gonna pick like just probably any Dead Kennedys. Just stick that in there.
Got it. It's in there. All right, 6 albums. We did it. Fucking did it.
You know, but I don't know. If anybody wants to hear the unfinished stories that I assuredly left loose ends.
Oh, we're gonna have to have a part 2. We're gonna have to have a part 2. Absolutely.
Make some notes. Just ask me. I'll answer. I'll finish the stories for you guys.
Yeah. Well, if anyone out there is in dire need of a continuation of any story that Jenn has mentioned on this episode, feel free to write me, write her, say, hey, look, I need to know what fucking happened next. And we'll get it done. That'll be part of the next episode with Jenn Attaway. Because
I didn't even talk about how any of the bands formed or anything like that. But
no, we really didn't. Really didn't. How did the Unnaturals form? Real quick.
I've been, which is fine, huh?
How did Unnaturals form, by the way?
Well, I started that story when I started talking about dating Kevin from We're Only in It for the Honey.
Oh, wait, so you dated Kevin? I missed that part.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so then, he taught me how to play. He tried to teach me how to play guitar, and I said, no, I want to play bass.
Okay.
And so he got me the little bass kit, and I taught myself how to play bass, and then he showed me some stuff, and then we formed a band, and then we went through a bunch of drummers, and now we have my current boyfriend on drums. So he's been with us the longest out of all of them. But for a while there, we were the Spinal Tap of surf rock because we were going through Drummers Like Underwear. So
interesting.
Yeah, and then so Split Up started.
It's probably inappropriate to say.
I'm just gonna pass through the stories because we're trying to wrap this up. Go ahead. What were you saying?
It was gonna be like. Never mind. Continue with the formation of Unnaturals.
Yeah, so I don't know. So I mean, that was really it for that. I mean, we've just been we started off with
you and Kevin.
Don, who played bass from We're Only in It for the Honey, on drums. And we had a guy named Troy Meyer on additional percussion. And we parted ways with him. And then Don broke his finger playing Golden Tee, so we had to get another drummer. So then we got the drummer from We're Only in It for the Honey. It was Dano Cardona, and he was with us for years. And then we had Lana, is it Caruso? I should know that, right? She was in the band for years. So we had her for a while. And then we had Bill. We have Bill. So that's not as bad as I thought. I was feeling like there were a lot more. That's not that many drummers.
No.
And so I played in a band called Terra Nova. That was overlapping. And then started the Split Lips. Then Terra Nova went away. I gave 6 months notice of quitting that band, by the way, because we had something on the books, and I was like, that's going to be my last show. And it was so down the road, but I was determined that I booked that show. I'm playing it, damn it. Longest notice of quitting a band, I think, probably in New Orleans history, at least.
Wow.
But and then so I started Split Lips with Sunshine, who was the first drummer, and Stacy, and then and Pam. So it actually was Sunshine and Pam. And initially I asked Pam to play bass because I didn't know she played guitar. She said she wanted to play guitar. I was like, yeah, cool. Now we need to find a bass player. So Sunshine's significant other at the time knew Stacy from work, so we got Stacy. Sunshine quit after a while, and we had Michelle Lacayo from Terra Nova filled in on drums for a couple of shows, and then we had Bill come in. Bill keeps saving the day for me with drummers and bands, apparently.
Yep.
Um,
So
and
I hope the audience was keeping up with, who was coming, who was, going, because there's going to be a test later to test all the membership of Tales from the Riff podcast. So
yeah, I was in other bands too. I mean, you met Mike. I was in Maggot Sandwich when he lived here. And Maggot Sandwich was one of the first hardcore punk bands on the Gulf Coast, and certainly in Pensacola. And he kind of helped kick in Pensacola.
It was crazy that what Mike was saying, that who he opened, like, who he shared the stage with when we was talking to him in Pensacola. That was fucking insane. Suicidal Tendencies, just to name one band I can remember. And
I can. He shared the stage with like a lot of the originators of what we know as punk. He was there. It was like when all those bands that everybody's heard of from New York and the West Coast, and all the places, they started actually finally trickling down here. Yeah. He was one of the ones helping set up those shows, and like I said, in Florida.
Yeah.
And but he was living in New Orleans for a while, and so he wanted to restart the band. So Bill and I were his rhythm section for that. We put out American Sucker on 10-inch vinyl, and then he moved back over to Florida. So now I have a place to go, and all these bands keep playing in Pensacola.
Yeah, and speaking of putting on shows, I mean, I it almost I was about to wrap up here, and I totally forgot. You managed the Unnaturals, basically. You're responsible for a lot of the bookings, and I mean, you share that duty with Bill as well. But what I want to mention is that y'all two are primarily responsible for the Creepy Fest. That the annual Creepy Fest in New Orleans. How did that start? Like, when did you and Bill decide, what, let's just throw the biggest party, over a weekend and spread across multiple venues with all of these bands that's in, the metal and underground punk scene? Like, how did that come about?
Well, first off, I'm just going to make sure to give credit where it's due, and just make sure to punctuate that this is Bill's baby.
Okay.
But I do help out a lot, but I don't want to take anything away from that, because he's the mastermind. He's the producer. He's the guy.
Mm-hmm.
So in other words, don't hit me up for booking. But no, he's the way it started was because he also makes films with Terror Optics Films. You may know them from Attack of the Cockface Killer.
Oh, yeah. Bill and I talked about that at length.
Yeah.
See what I did there at length?
Oh, nice. Well played, Mosif.
I try.
We he had a movie. Shoot, I'm trying. I see now. I'm failing because it was the short film, actually, Creepy Dean, and it was actually a sequel. But his brother, Richie Roachcliffe, plays this character. He's like a mute, and he goes to a hippie party, and he just messes with all of their food and stuff, and he plays a bunch of horrible pranks on them and everything. So this the soundtrack was like a really good collection of local bands, and he was putting out the DVDs. It was like a pack with the DVD and the soundtrack, and he wanted to have a party with as many of the bands that were on the soundtrack as he could.
Yeah.
It out. And I should know this. I think it was at the Buddha Belly and maybe one other place.
Mm-hmm.
And then it just, everybody had such a blast with it. He brought it back the next year. And I think it just kept growing and growing. And that's also what she said. But he started adding days, adding venues. And it's like several of the nights will be multi venues, and it's also a way that if you know much about New Orleans, like it's a very tourism driven city,
Right.
very service industry driven, and so the service industry and the live music scene kind of suffers during the summer because it's so hot and it's so humid and just.
And this summer was by far probably one of the worst that I've experienced.
Yeah, and so it's kind of like a great thing to do to bring people here, give them a reason to play here at a time when they normally wouldn't. Throw some business at the venues that cater to the underground throughout the year. It's like always the middle of July, so it's at a time to give those bars a little boost.
Hell yeah.
And it's like it's. He would always try to share the love with as many of the venues as possible anyway, but another reason that a lot of the venue lineups change from year to year is because it's really hard to survive in the city as a live music venue, as a dive bar, because it's just, I mean, the scene is ever changing, but like the economy's struggling and it's hard to watch. Like we just
really
had
is.
like 5 in the last couple of weeks. And like 2 or 3 of them catered to live music in the area. Or at least I mean to say regularly.
Yeah.
But it's tough business, but that's one of his big contributions to try to help it out, and it's like awesome to see so many people offer to get involved and try to help out whenever it does come around. And, we got some bands that hit them up every year, like, hey, are we coming back? What's the dates this time,
Yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah.
It's so much fun.
I mean, I got to experience it this past summer, and it was a great time. I mean, got to see Verbal Abuse, got to see my friends in Witch Burial perform, and countless others. It was a good time. Even the friends from Lafayette, Pure Phillips got in the mix, so it was awesome. Yeah. So, we covered a lot of ground tonight, and Jenn, thanks again for coming on board. I really appreciate it, and we'll probably have a part 2 to to close up some holes in the story or whatever. So
yeah. I'll have to take a listen and make some notes, and I'll be like, I should have said this, and I guarantee I'm gonna message you like, I shouldn't have said that. You can't pull it down and go edit that.
We're not editing shit.
Yeah, but just I'm gonna plug my shows real quick and
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. What's coming up? What's coming up?
Right. This Sunday, December 10th, we got DRI. Yes, that DRI with oh shit, what the fuck is the other band's name? Death Wish. Split Lips and Dead Centered from Baton Rouge, in Baton Rouge at the Mid-City Ballroom. I got December 16th, we have Hell Fury from Austin, Cemetary Frost, and So Awful and DJ Penetrol. That's at Siberia. And I'm like trying to read my calendar from across the room. And we got Unnaturals on New Year's Eve at Checkpoint Charlie's.
Hell yeah. That's going to be a good one. They're all going to be good ones. I'm going to try to make it out to see Hell Fairy at Siberia on the 16th. If I got nothing going on, that's for sure.
You should make it out to see all of them.
No, just Hell Fairy. I'm sure. I'm just going to go see out. Just going to go out there to see one band. Come on, man. No. I'm going to go see the whole show. And I'm looking forward to it. And again, Jenn, thanks so much for coming on board. It's been fun. We'll do it again. Maybe next time get you and Bill a little, Creepy Fest edition or something. I know we tried to do that this past year, but I think logistically it was kind of weird. But anyway.
Yeah, but I mean, you got Bill in time, didn't you?
I got Bill in time for it. Yes, I did. It was awesome.
Important part.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm gonna get out your hair, and thanks again for the 18th time. And I hope you have a good night. And I will let you know when.
Good night as well.
All right. I'll talk to you later. And those of you who are on social media, you can follow the Unnaturals. You can follow Jenn. What is what is the correct Cemetary Frost? I know y'all had 2 handles on.
Cemetary Frost Death on Instagram.
Okay.
The Split Lips might be the Split Lips NOLA or something like that.
Okay.
Unnaturals is the Unnaturals band, because if you go to just the Unnaturals, it's people selling steroids.
Ooh.
I can't even make that up. And then Unnaturals and Split Lips are on Facebook as well. I don't think Cemetary Frost has a Facebook yet.
Don't need to fix that.
I do though. Have a personal one.
Yeah.
You can come tell me hi. I'm maxed out on friends, but I'll
And if you want, you could join.
About adding you.
And if you want, you could join the conversation of Tales from the Riff. You go to the website, www.talesfromtheriff.org. You catch every episode on that. You can order a patch. You can interact with me if you want on the Tales from the Riff IG, on Facebook. I think there's a Twitter involved. I can't even keep up with TikTok, so I'm not even gonna try. I just go down rabbit holes and watching kids get hurt. So that's that. But anyway, we're gonna go again. She's Jenn Attaway from the Unnaturals, Split Lips, and Cemetary Frost. I'm Mo, and we are out.
If you would like to be a guest on Tales from the Riff, email mo at talesfromtheriff.org, or you can hit us up on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Now go ahead, twist that dick.